So congratulations on 7 years. I understand 7 years as CEO of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. June 13th was my 7th year anniversary, and it's, time has flown by. When you look back and you see what we've been able to accomplish in those 7 years, I'm very proud and honored to have this role.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and even in the last year and a half, you've gone from being a city department as the Convention and Visitors Bureau to being now a nonprofit under the name of Visit San Antonio. Tell me a little bit about the opportunities first of how that's provided.
The industry, meaning many of our traditional stakeholders, the hotels, the restaurants, the attractions, had talked about this transition for many years. And part of it was to afford us that speed to market and to be very nimble. But one of the things that I noticed in my 5 years back then, 5 years here, is that our budget had remained relatively flat. When I started looking at our comp set around the state, such as Dallas and Houston, their budget was growing significantly. And why that's important is because all of a sudden they started getting into our market that we're so successful, which is that leisure market.
Right.
So they were able to kind of get into what we've always been known for.
Well, then that kind of leads into a second question too that I have. I mean, obviously there's a lot going on. There's a lot of conversation in the media and in the community right now about the public improvement district that's been proposed. Tell me a little bit about the thinking behind something like that and how you think that might benefit San Antonio and our efforts.
It's a little bit different than what people know of as a business improvement district, for example, that Centro San Antonio has.
Right.
The Tourism Public Improvement District, this actually has been a trend ongoing in destination marketing organizations because we recognize that the hotel occupancy tax can only take you so far, and we need to grow and expand because we know that he who has the loudest voice gets the loudest message about inviting the world to your destination.
Right.
So coupled with that and in the interest of the hotel community, and in fact the San Antonio Hotel and Lodging Association is the one that is the lead in driving this because they're the ones that would self-assess themselves.
Right.
So what happens, for example, in Dallas, because the Tourism Improvement District's not based on property tax. It is when you stay at a hotel, you pay a hotel occupancy tax, and then this would be a nominal fee, and that nominal fee would go into our marketing and sales efforts.
Right. What is the driving concern around that and driving the discussion around that?
Well, I think people may be a little confused because they think it's a direct tax and that maybe residents would be impacted, and that's just simply not true. As I mentioned, it's a user's fee, and they will pay it based on their hotel stay, and it is very common. There's now over 160 tourism improvement districts around the country, so it's something that we know is a proven entity. From all of our research, there's not been one community that has dissolved their tourism improvement district.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Really good to know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that because there's a lot that's being said right now.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Thank you for that. And then turning to something more celebratory.
Yes.
Tell me, with the city's tricentennial this year, how that has impacted your marketing efforts and how you feel you all have been able to kind of dovetail on the tricentennial efforts.
Well, sure. I mean, it was exciting. I mean, there's no other city in Texas that can claim, their tricentennial or 300 years. So we knew that this would give another voice for San Antonio as we invite people to come here, whether it's for their conventions or just for their vacations. And so we've integrated the messaging about tricentennial all throughout all of our marketing, and we've done a lot of PR efforts across the country and frankly internationally, telling people about our tricentennial and inviting them, because there's not many U.S. cities that have been, for 300 years. And again, it just gives us additional exposure as a destination.
Well, and on top of that, this year we had the wonderful showing that we had with Final Four.
Oh, no question.
And everyone I've talked to, it was glowing reviews. Everyone really felt like we were elevated on a national and international stage. tell me what you're hearing in that, or how you expect that to have an impact on our efforts as well.
Well, Visit San Antonio, we were great to be partners along with the local organizing committee, UTSA, San Antonio Sports, and of course the city of San Antonio, because many of their departments certainly help service something as the Final Four. Many things that you worry about, and something that our industry is very focused on is safety. But when you look at the Final Four, from safety to the execution to just the overall fun and just the getting in and out of the facilities,
right,
everything was a home run.
Yeah.
I was getting texts over that weekend. There were people calling us, but we also leveraged it to bring in some of our major customers,
right,
and media, because who's going to say no to coming to the Final Four? So, it was a great way to bring executives in, showcase what we could do.
Well, on that note too, the ties between convention and visitors and tourism, et cetera, those dollars, and also tell me a little bit about your philosophy, because it's so well aligned with our economic development efforts.
It is.
What role does that play? How
Sure.
do you see these two working together to grow our city?
Well, one of the things we've strived, especially over the last couple of years, is that we are partners with the Economic Development Foundation, and of course in partnership with the Economic Development Department of the city.
Mm-hmm.
But Jenna Saucedo, their CEO, serves on our board.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're in tandem. So one of the things that we do is we have a program called Connect SA, where we will focus on bringing in conventions in some of the leading industry sectors of San Antonio, as well as emerging industry sectors.
And succinct to say, everything seems to be in alignment. Things in our community are moving. We have 66 new people moving here a day.
Right.
It's a great time to be from
Right.
San Antonio, and it's a great time to be part of this community. And I really appreciate you joining us today.
Absolutely.
This has been it's been a lot of fun catching up with you. Is there anything else that...
No, I just want to share the message that, we need to be proud to be San Antonians, not have inferiority complex to any other
Yes.
city, because we are a major destination with the culture and the diversity that people want to be a part of. And so we all need to be proud as local citizens.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
Thank you again for joining us.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.